Growing up, my brother Jason was always the center of attention. He got the biggest room, the newest clothes, and all of our parents' praise. I was the quiet one, the girl who stayed out of trouble, got good grades, and learned early not to expect much. At every holiday, Jason's stories got the spotlight, while my accomplishments got a polite nod, if that. But I didn't complain. I told myself if I worked hard enough, one day they'd notice. I just didn't expect it to take this long, or for the truth to come out the way it did. After college, I worked 2 jobs to pay off my loans. I built a career in finance without help from anyone. I even sent money home when Dad lost his job and helped Mom pay her medical bills. Jason, meanwhile, drifted from one dream to another. Photography, music, a startup that never started. Still, they bragged about him to everyone. When he got engaged to Chloe, a girl from a wealthy family, I hoped maybe this would be a turning point. Maybe this wedding would bring us together. I never guessed it would be the final crack in our relationship. I eventually became the senior financial consultant at one of the top firms in Chicago. My salary let me afford a downtown condo, and I even bought a vacation property near the lake. Every step of my success was mine alone. No handouts, no shortcuts. So when Jason called and asked for help funding the wedding, I said yes. Not because I owed him anything, but because I wanted to show him that I could be part of the family too. That I wasn't invisible. I wired him $18,000 and even offered to cover the reception hall. He thanked me once. Weeks passed. No updates, no details, no invitation. When I finally called to check in, Jason seemed distracted. "Oh yeah, things are coming together," he said casually. Then he added, "Chloe's family is handling the guest list. It's a bit tight." Something inside me froze. I didn't say anything right away, hoping I misheard. "Wait, am I invited?" I asked. There was a pause. "It's complicated," he muttered. "But you know we love you." That's when I knew. I wasn't just forgotten. I was excluded. They took my money, but didn't want me there. Not as a guest, not as family. The worst part? A few days after that call, Mom texted me. "Honey, could you help with the flowers too? Just a little more." No apology, no mention of the guest list. Just another favor. I stared at the message, numb. It wasn't just Jason. My parents were in on it too. I had spent my life trying to earn their love with silence and generosity. But now I saw it clearly. They didn't see me as a daughter. I was a wallet with a heartbeat. And for the first time, I didn't reply. I made a different plan instead. The final straw came when I saw the venue's website feature their upcoming wedding, Jason and Chloe's. There were photos of the space I had paid for. My name wasn't mentioned anywhere. No thanks to my sister, no acknowledgement. I called the event manager and asked if I was listed on the invoice. She checked. "Yes, you're the billing contact," she said. That settled it. They were happy to take my money, but they didn't want me in the room. That was fine. They didn't know I was coming anyway. But when I did, it wouldn't be quietly. I booked a ticket home and decided not to tell anyone. I wasn't going to show up to beg for an invitation. I was going to take it back, my space, my voice, my story. I kept thinking of all the years I sat quietly at the dinner table while Jason interrupted me, while our parents looked past me, while I learned to make myself smaller. Not anymore. This wedding was supposed to be a celebration. They just didn't realize the real story wasn't Jason and Chloe's love. It was the family they erased. I was coming to remind them. The night before the wedding, the family group chat lit up with photos from the rehearsal dinner. Everyone looked happy, dressed up, full of smiles. Still no message for me. Then my cousin Ella texted me privately. "Aren't you coming tomorrow?" I replied, "I don't think I'm on the list." She sent a shocked emoji. "You paid for half of this," she wrote. I stared at her message for a while. She was right. I had paid for it, and I was done pretending that I didn't matter. My flight landed at 10 a.m. The wedding was at 3. I arrived at the venue in a dark green dress, heels sharp, hair smooth. I wasn't trying to make a scene. I was the scene. I walked past the front desk and straight through the open doors. The place looked beautiful. Flowers everywhere. Soft music playing. Lights glowing just right. I saw my name on the vendor sign-in sheet. Still not as a guest. But that was okay. Because today, I wasn't there to be polite. I was there to be remembered. And then I saw my brother standing near the altar. He froze when he saw me. Good. He stepped toward me awkwardly. You came? He said. I nodded. Of course. I helped pay for this. He looked around nervously. Chloe's parents were worried it'd be too many people. So you removed your own sister? I asked. Your only sibling? He had no answer. Just a week. It wasn't personal. I smiled. Good. Because I don't take it personally. I take it seriously. Then I walked past him and took a seat in the 3rd row. I wasn't leaving. And I wasn't staying quiet. The mic for toasts sat right near the head table. I had a speech too. The ceremony ended smoothly. Jason looked stiff. Chloe smiled for the cameras. Everyone clapped politely. I waited. Dinner was served, drinks flowed, and laughter returned. Then came the toasts. Chloe's father went first. Then the maid of honor. Then Jason started to speak, thanking everyone, except me. To love, family, and fresh starts, he ended. Glasses clinked. And then, like fate itself opened a door, the DJ said, "Would anyone else like to give a toast?" Silence. I stood. All eyes turned to me. Jason's face paled. I walked calmly to the mic and smiled. Yes, I have a few words. The room quieted. Forks paused midair. I could see Jason whispering to Chloe. My mother looked like she'd seen a ghost. I took a breath. Hi, I'm Nicole. For those who don't know, I'm Jason's older sister. A few murmurs rippled through the crowd. I wasn't on the official guest list, but I paid for this reception hall, so I thought I'd use my access for a brief story. I could hear chairs shifting, whispers behind hands, but I had their attention now. This isn't a wedding story. It's a story about value, and who gets to decide who belongs. I paused, just long enough to let that sink in. I spent years being told I was too quiet, too distant, too serious. Meanwhile, Jason was the golden child. No judgment. That's just how it was. I never asked for more. I worked. I succeeded. And when they needed me to fund this event, I gave without hesitation. Eyes widened. But I wasn't invited. Not officially. My seat was quietly erased, just like my presence has been most of my life. But today I decided, if you can't find a seat at the table, build your own, and sit at the head of it. My name wasn't on the invite, but my name was on the payment invoice. That's right, I paid for the venue, part of the catering, even the sound system I'm speaking into now. Laughter from a few guests, awkward and shocked. I smiled calmly. I didn't come to ruin anything. I came to tell the truth. I came because I'm done being the silent one. I gave my brother and this family enough, and now I'm giving myself something, my voice. The DJ watched me, half amused, half afraid. So here's to weddings, to choices, and to finally standing where you belong. People clapped. Not a roar, but not a whisper either. My grandparents were clapping. Chloe's brother even gave a nod. I looked over at Jason. He looked like he didn't know whether to run or apologize. I didn't need either. This isn't about payback, I added. It's about clarity. If you treat people like ghosts, don't be surprised when they haunt you. I handed the mic back to the DJ and walked off calmly, returning to my seat. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel invisible. I felt undeniable. And no one would forget that moment. After I sat down, the silence lingered. Chloe looked stunned, and Jason avoided eye contact. I wasn't trying to ruin their day. I had no interest in revenge, but I needed the truth to be heard, loudly, clearly, and without shame. For years, I had watched Jason get excuse after excuse, benefit after benefit, while I played the quiet backbone. But a family that only sees you when they need something isn't family. I sipped my wine slowly and watched people around the room start whispering. My parents still hadn't moved. Good. Let them sit in it. Let them hear it. Jason finally walked over to me. He didn't yell. He didn't argue. He just leaned down and said, "You didn't have to do that." I looked him in the eye. Yes, I did. You made sure I didn't have a seat. I made sure I had a voice. He looked hurt, but not sorry. That told me everything. Enjoy the rest of your wedding, I added. Then I turned my attention to the dessert tray. If I was going to be dramatic, I might as well enjoy the cake I helped pay for. It was excellent, by the way. As I walked out an hour later, a few guests stopped me. "That was brave," one woman said. "Honestly, it needed to be said," said another. Ella me dio un abrazo y susurró, "Ojalá pudiera hacer lo que acabas de hacer." I smiled, surprised. I hadn't expected anyone to take my side, but I hadn't done it for sides. I'd done it to reclaim something I never should have had to fight for. Dignity. The sky was turning gold as I walked into the parking lot. For the first time in years, I didn't feel heavy. I felt light. The next morning, I checked my phone. No calls from Mom, no texts from Jason, just a message from my grandfather. "Proud of you. Always." I teared up a little. That was the only wedding gift I needed. I booked a massage, turned off my phone, and spent the rest of the weekend at a quiet hotel by the lake. They could keep their party. I had peace. Sometimes the real celebration isn't in the crowd. It's in finally choosing yourself. I'd spent a lifetime being the extra in other people's story. Now, I was the lead in mine. 3 months later, I launched a mentorship program for young women in business. I called it the Uninvited List. We help women who've been overlooked, underestimated, or silenced find their confidence and step forward. My story became a lesson, not in revenge, but in rebalance. Today, I speak at conferences, lead panels, and support voices that deserve more than a seat. They deserve the mic. My family? We haven't spoken since. And that's okay. Sometimes healing starts with goodbye. Because true strength isn't in being included. It's in knowing your worth, showing up anyway, and speaking your truth into the silence.